I suppose this area could have been a little bit smaller because there is a lot of it. There is a lot of this area to get through, and it is just packed full of zombie enemies. Like, really kind of boring zombie enemies. Oh, here it is! Yay, I found the limb clinic!
You seem relatively normal, Nishvar?
All things considered, yeah. You okay?
Thankfully, I was able to barricade myself in here when things got out of control. So, is it safe to come out now?
No. The rest of the station is still under siege. You better stay here until help comes. In the meantime, is it possible to download Praxis software here?
Yes, of course. No damage was done.
So here's the last place in the game you can spend money on. You can buy... Oh, I'm gonna so buy that. You can buy 2 level ups, and that's it. And now we're done.
I will remain here, where...
All of this money I got, all of that, 5,400... Oh, what is that? No, that's $54,000. All of that's worthless. Throw it in the trash. It doesn't matter. In fact, none of these like, I bought level ups, but I have all of the things. Like, I don't really have any more upgrades. Like, just throw them in the trash, really. So that's one disappointment. Like, the diminishing returns on your resources in terms of the, you know, upgrades and weapons you can collect and all that. Again, like, games that try and offer the stealthy, non-lethal approach always kind of drop the ball.
This is William Taggart. If anyone out there is listening, I'm begging you, help. We've barricaded ourselves inside the core server room. Many of us are wounded. Please, save us. Please, save us.
Dishonored had that problem too, where like, oh, you're doing non-lethal, you're pretty much just regulated to like choking people out, and there's no reason to like collect all these bullets, collect all these cool weapons and whatnot, because you're just doing this the entire game. And I remember them saying in an interview, I think, that they were gonna have the non-lethal options available in Mankind Divided be a little bit less fucking boring. So I'm hoping that they actually follow through with that. I always have trouble finding... Like, you heard William Taggart over the radio there was like, yo, someone help us. And David Seraph is actually here looking for help as well. And we're gonna try and find both of them, but I always have trouble remembering where they are.
We're gonna kill you! Let it be nothing. You're the monster! It's your fault!
How are you not technically in the gas to get knocked out by it? Yeah, you can probably tell that, like, on the higher difficulties, this area just becomes really aggravating. Here we go. I guess I kinda busted up your guys' only means of defense here. Oh, whatever, they're barricaded in, they're fine. So, William Taggart, who is so obviously a member of the Illuminati. Looks like we finally have one last confrontation with him.
Mr. Jensen, how ironic that you should be the one to save us from the monsters out there.
Monsters, Taggart? You mean people. Augmented people who've lost all control, lost their reason.
Because of you.
Isn't that supposed to be my line? Unfortunately, it seems your esteemed Mr. Darrow decided to appropriate my point and turn it back on me. In madness and in blood. He has betrayed us all.
So you finally admit it. You are part of this after all. You have been all along.
It would be pointless to deny anything now, but
I love
despite
that.
what you think of us, we never wanted augmentations outlawed. All we've ever sought is regulation, rules governing how the technology is developed, and laws that ensure it's used for the good of society.
You've raised society above humanity. So who gets to make those rules?
Men with wisdom, strength, and
Fuck
tenacity
you.
to know what's right. Proven leaders who distinguish themselves, like you, Mr. Jensen. You've certainly earned the right to be one of us. All you have to do is take it.
Really?
I'm looking for glory, Taggart.
You're pulling this
Just
join
remember
us
that
thing
without control,
now?
there's no room for freedom, only anarchy. You were a policeman once. You know the importance of order.
I quit
know
the
there's
police
a difference
force.
between order and slavery.
The biochip wasn't supposed to force people to do anything. It merely limited powers so that people couldn't go on killing sprees like the ones taking place right now.
Amazing how well that worked out.
But I know that some part of you agrees with me. Absolute freedom is no different than absolute chaos. Society needs boundaries if it has any hope of surviving. And you, Mr. Jensen, can be the one to give us that hope. Shut down Darrow's signal. Then help me get a message out saying that an accident at VersaLife contaminated the world's neuropozyne supply.
VersaLife? And what if I decided to blame the Illuminati?
The Illuminati is just a name to get rich financiers to invest more money. Besides, do you really think the world will believe in some 18th century conspiracy theory? Do this for us, and you'll ensure a future for mankind, all of mankind, augmented or otherwise. The future Hugh Darrow offers doesn't allow for both.
Let me think about it.
So, here's the thing. You're right, Taggart. Some part of me does agree with you. But the other part of me is going, hey, look what happens when you let a small council of overseers, of overlords, of rulers, that we, the people being ruled over, have no choice and no input over who they are and whether or not they're allowed into positions of power. You let Hugh Darrow in on your little clubhouse here. You gave him the power over people's lives with this biochip, and look what he did. He turned them into killing machines. That's what the future you offer promises us. Oh, men of esteem, men of wisdom, men who will guide human progress. Men like Hugh Darrow who proved that no one has the right to rule over others. No one has the wisdom and discipline to decide, no, I know what's best for you. You don't know what's best for humanity. No one knows what's best for humanity. And I will not turn over their fate, their future, to live in an invisible cage. To live under a monarchy that they have no knowledge or input over, so that people like you can decide their lives for them. Suck my dick. Okay, now we just gotta go find David. David Seraph is also here. So you might not notice, but we're getting our options. We're getting our options for the different endings we can pick here. Hugh Darrow gave us one, where he was like, well, Hugh Darrow gave us one, and then William Taggart there gave us another one. And then we're gonna go find David, and he'll give us one more. So we'll have 3 different endings to choose from. Also, I don't know what difference it makes whether or not you, like... I think earlier you had the option... Oh, wait, no. in this playthrough, we never got that.
Anybody there?
Here we go.
Can you hear me? I've got survivors here. We've locked ourselves in a machine room. Please! Help us!
Okay, this is the way to continue on. I think we gotta take this elevator down to get to David. What was I saying? Oh yeah, earlier in the game, if you don't have that conversational boss fight with William Taggart, which I always think you should, but you can just sneak into his office and find the information you need on his laptop and totally bypass that whole conversation thing. And if you do, David... Oh, hey! This is one of our security guys. If you do, David gives you the option of planting some information on his files to frame him for something or other. And I forget if, like, that changes the dialogue during that last conversation with him where he goes like, oh, you did some bullshit or whatever. Yeah, a security guard, oh no! This is one of my guys. What a shame. What a shame. And where's more security guys of mine? Ah. Squeezy. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I thought he would have instantly drowned or something. Never mind. I thought that would have killed him or something. You guys need to chill out. Let's get him out of the coolant there. That probably isn't healthy. You doing okay, buddy? Yeah, you're fine. Where is... Damn it. Frustrating at best. Look at all of these emails in this place. I see it, Mommy. Hello, Father. This is an automatically generated message from the Panchaea Oceanic Installation 5 Hyron Core. Hello, Father. This is an automated message. The Promised Land awaits. See the wind, turn the rudder. No regrets. And there's emails talking about how, like, automatic, like, passwords, because the core designates your email passwords here. And there's all these emails of dudes talking about, like, dude, what is with these automated passwords? They're so creepy. What the fuck? Because they're being automatically generated by the Panchaea core, just like those messages. There we go. And then, look at the submersible. Look at how tiny that is! Like, 2 people could fit in that. Okay, so here's David. Let's hear his argument.
Adam! Oh, thank God you came. I've got wounded here. We'll have to move them first.
Now, say what you want about David.
Not until I get to the
He prioritized. He's got his priorities straight.
What? Why?
We've got wounded here. We'll have to move them first. Implying he wants to come back for the others too. And isn't prioritizing himself. Anyway, argument here.
We gotta fix this, Adam. If people realize what's happened, if they believe augmentation technology created this chaos, they'll ban human enhancement research forever.
And that would be a bad
Speaking
thing.
of priorities...
Yes, it would! Don't you see what's at stake here? Ever since man first crawled out of that ocean, we've been striving to be more than we are. Augmentation technology is just the latest, greatest step on a very long road. But we've barely scratched the surface of its potential. We can't let fear stop us from continuing.
That's your belief, Seraph. Not everyone shares it.
But you do, Adam. I know it. And if we work together, we can really make a difference. We can improve the lives of everyone, but only if we fix this.
Go on.
We'd have to get a message out after you shut down Hugh's signal. Tell the world, tell them the Humanity Front did this. That their doctors created a virus that only affects augmented people.
You mean lie?
It'll give us time, son. Time to figure out how to destroy the Illuminati's biochips and move on.
And what about the people who've been hurt by this? Don't they deserve the truth?
Adam, if we want the freedom to become more than we are, we can't be blinded by a misguided morality. Some people will be left behind. It's reality. It's evolution, son.
Right. Evolution based on my DNA.
Please, son, you have to stay with me on this.
I'll think about it.
I'll think about it. What a shame. Your arguments are a lot simpler to break down. A, I'm not lying to people. Are you fucking stupid? Like, hey, fabricate this story, this narrative that our political enemies were responsible for this tragedy so that we can reap the benefits? Like, you're no better than the Illuminati, twisting people's minds and outlooks to suit your selfish endeavor? Suck my dick. B, you stole my fucking DNA, asshole! You didn't ask my permission! Oh, but the ends justify the means? The end result of furthering humanity's evolution. And that evolution will be charted out by people like you. Children playing with a toy. You don't care about who gets left behind. You don't fucking care about who you have to step on, and who you have to manipulate, and who you have to lie to in order to get to what you want. And what you want is more fucking baseball pitches for yourself. Like, you'll exploit and manipulate whoever you have to get what you want. Like, what is the difference between you and the Illuminati at the end of the day? You're a lot more fucking immature, for one thing. Dick.
It's okay.
Just self-absorbed assholes. I can't tolerate that. Like, okay, let's get away from this argument about augmentation for 1 second here. Oh, you know, are you on the side of pro-augmentation or against it? Motherfucker stole my DNA without my permission and was going to use it in research, again, without giving me credit or, you know, even knowledge. Didn't tell me that he'd done it. What a fucking asshole. Suck my dick, dude. I'm gonna get nice and drunk and go save the fucking world over here. And all of these people, all of them, their priorities aren't, hey, let's stop this catastrophe that's happening. Let's stop this tragedy of people being, you know, having this message implanted into their brains to cause them to go on a killing spree and cause them to hurt people against their will. Like, imagine, like, the trauma that these people are going to be living with after we fix it, you know? Like, imagine, like, them having to face up to what they've done when they weren't even in control of their own bodies. They're still gonna be living with that guilt. And no one's thinking of them. All anyone is thinking of is, how can we use this to get what I want? And what I want is, let's lie to the people. Let's send out a message saying, hey, you should all believe me. and let me get away with what I want to do. None of them trust mankind to make their own decisions. All of them think they have the right to play God. All of them think that they have the right to decide for everyone else what's best for them. Oh shit. All of them think, oh, I know what, like, I know the story, I know what's best, I'll keep humanity's best interests at heart. Give me absolute, unquestioned, unthinking, like, completely undesignated power and authority to do whatever I want to them. God damn it.
Chew the wires. Oh, it's chewing.
Oh, apparently they're getting fucking choked by the gas through the wall there. That's funny.
I don't know you. Let me go. Get away.
Pardon me. Pardon me. Excuse me. Everyone, you've all contributed very well today. I'm proud of your progress. I'm proud of your contributions here. And down we go. You could have had the option to not go talk to Taggart or David Seraph, and you could have the option to also not have been able to convince Hugh Darrow that he was wrong too. So you could be going down here with no choices, instead of the three choices of tell people the truth in order to get them to see augmentation as a bad thing or whatever Hugh Darrow thinks. Or tell them a lie to get them to want stricter government regulation. Or tell them a lie to get them to want less regulation and more freedom for augmentation corporations like David Seraph to do whatever the fuck they want with no oversight. Don't all of those sound like great options? Honestly, it might be better off coming down here not having talked to any of them. Because I don't 100% agree with any of those. Like the closest one that I agree with is tell people the truth. Tell people the truth about what happened. But the framing of the game is if you tell them the truth, they'll want to ban augmentation research and no more augmentation anything for anyone ever. Which, you know, that's still manipulating people. That's still, you know, anyway. So here it is, the fruits of Hugh Darrow's labor. This is what we saw in the missing link.
Oh my god.
Water pressure normal at 173 psi.
Who am I?
Communications web online.
I feel cold.
Drones 1 through 3 within operational parameters.
I don't remember.
Drone 4 disconnected.
Let me go.
Processing.
Oh God, please help me. I'm scared.
Core temperature stable. Processing.
Zhao, what are you doing?
Connecting to Panchaea's Harun project, Mr. Jensen. The most advanced quantum computer slave to the human brain, and the closest to perfection we'll ever achieve. I'm going to use it to hack Darrow's signal and rework the message to our benefit.
Our benefit? You mean the Illuminati's?
So that's something I like, is like, there's like so many different villains in this game. There's the Illuminati, there's Hugh Darrow trying to take, like...
Let's be honest, neither of us would trust anyone else to fill that role. Computer, begin EEG sync.
Like, Hugh Darrow's trying to exploit the Illuminati. Then there's this bitch who's technically part of the Illuminati, but is trying to take over the Illuminati. Or whatever. Like, you want to talk about a Gambit pileup.
The system won't recognize my chip.
Oh, you're stupid. Oh no. What happened? You're a dumbass.
Increasing gluten levels 132%.
Sal, get them out of there. I have to reach the control chamber.
No! I can still control it! I'm in control!
Stop the signal!
Security alert.
Through the primary drone hatch.
Oh, shit.
Ah, shit. Man, these FMVs suck. I do like how they went through the trouble of having Adam pick up a pistol in the cutscene instead of assuming that you would have had a pistol on you. Anyway, so here's your final boss.
To access Alpha Pod, purge tertiary pods.
So we saw these in the missing link.
To alter the signal. Once I do, the council will welcome me with open arms.
Here we go. 1T12.
Stay away!
Warning. Manual override of tertiary pods initiated. Total
So
system
that was the code we got from
shutting
Hudero.
down tertiary stations. Warning. Electrical charge
There's your final boss.
rises.
Punch in the code name 2012,
Initial.
and you automatically win.
Get that gold from that fool, Daryl. This will not stop me, Jensen. It's happening. It's compromised. No, wait. It's initiating emergency protocols.
And then all you basically do is stand here and wait for this door to open.
Jensen, despite your special genetics, you have been in over your head the whole time. Initiate dissipation protocol.
To be fair, it's not like the original Deus Ex had much of a final boss either, but still, you know,
Going to discharge sequence.
like this is a little bit of a nothing.
Damn Daryl. He betrayed them.
Warning. Primary pod compromised. Secondary security measures.
Like you punch in the code and then
Area.
it shocks the floor, unless you're standing on like something like this,
You cannot reach me, Jensen.
in which case the shocks can't hurt you, or if you have an upgrade that automatically makes you immune to being
You
shocked.
and I have both figured.
I don't know, it's a little bit funny. It's a little bit of a funny nothing final boss here.
Warning. Primary pod station damaged.
No,
Done yet? God damn.
I will not lose this.
Like you're literally just standing here at this point.
You're right. I have worked too long to stop now. You are the glory. Never. It is all mine. I have given everything for this.
Warning. Primary pod station failure imminent. Warning. Electrical charge approaching critical levels. Discharge imminent. Clear the area.
There we go. And game over. There's the end of the game, everyone. Literally just stand around and wait.
I can't take it.
Not quite stepping into the, oh hey. What up, honey? You're doing fine. So, that is your final boss, everybody.
Hello, Adam. Welcome to the Edge. It is not the end of the world, but you can see it from here.
Welcome to the Ending Tron
What are
5000.
you doing here?
It is my job to monitor and report on the news, Adam. Before Darrow smothered everything with his signal, The whole world was tuned into this place, including me.
The broadcast. I have to stop it.
I know. Please, come closer. Do you know where we are, Adam? We are at the fulcrum point, when society lies in the balance. Hugh Darrow hoped to tip the scales one way, by telling the world everything you already know. About the biochip, the Illuminati, everything. He believed knowing the truth would convince mankind to abandon research into human enhancement technologies forever.
It would certainly give them reason to fear it.
Indeed. Darrow's confession is ready to send. If you want, I can wideband it across all media as soon as you shut down the signal. Everything you worked so hard to uncover will be exposed. But only if you deactivate the broadcast using this control. However, if you desire, I can alter Darrow's message. Conceal the creation of the biochip while putting in new content.
Content blaming the Humanity Front, like Seraph suggested.
The organization has already admitted to harboring terrorists. It would be easy to convince people they turn to biological warfare in a more desperate attempt to get rid of augmented people.
But why? What would that achieve?
In time, it could shift the focus of hatred onto people whose prejudices are seen as too extreme, leaving corporations free to experiment with human evolution as they desire. But if you want me to perform this edit for you, you must disengage the signal and activate the video edit function from here. Alternatively, Darrow's message can be adjusted to erase all mention of the power group known as the Illuminati. I can report that lack of proper regulation allowed vast quantities of neuropozyne to become contaminated prior to reaching the market.
Taggart's preference. You think the world will buy a made-up story about neuropozyne poisoning?
You might be surprised by what people believe. I can convince them. And having experienced the negative effects of corporate negligence firsthand, a majority of people might force the world to place harsh restrictions on all human enhancement research. But only if you disengage the signal and activate the video edit function from here. Of course, there is another option. This passage leads to Panchaea's pressure regulation controls. Destroy them and the installation will cave in on itself, overwhelmed by the weight of the ocean pressing against it. Everyone inside the structure will die.
That's a solution?
No one will be left to tell the world what happened, Adam. Nobody will be able to spin the story.
Including me.
The choice is yours. Do you believe you have the wisdom to choose an appropriate future for mankind? Or do you trust mankind to find the answers on its own?
So there's the kicker. That final line is what makes the decision for me here. First of all, wow, this ending is kind of bullshit. Literally, here's a room, press a button to decide what ending you want. I don't know, I think they could have done a little bit better. I don't know, I feel like they could have had one last section where it's like, if you want this ending, go through this area. If you want this ending, go through this area. If you want this ending, go through this area, and have one last actual gameplay challenge to achieve the ending that you want to put into place, so it would feel a little bit more satisfying. This is just literally press a button to decide what ending cinematic you want to play. Which, you know? Could have been better. Could have been better. But, let's actually, you know, okay, it's not that bad. Especially considering the ending of the original Deus Ex was kind of a disappointment too. So let's just take this on its face and look at our options here. I feel like I've already explained why I think William Taggart and David Seraph's options are bullshit. I'm not going to lie to people. I'm not going to manipulate people to, you know, exploit the public and get them to, you know, like, have greater restrictions or lesser restrictions on medical research or whatever you want to call it. So here's the final option to me. The option between tell the truth or let the truth die. Because normally, this would be my go-to. This would be my option. Reveal everything. Reveal the truth of it all. Reveal the Illuminati, the alterations to the biochip, the way Hugh Darrow betrayed them and pulled one over on the Illuminati in order to drive people insane. But normally that is what I would go with. But the way the game frames it, the way the game is presenting this option, is as being no different from the other two options. It's presenting it as a manipulation. It's presenting it as feed people a narrative to get them to forge a future that you find agreeable. It's presenting it as, pick this, and people will ban augmentation research and human augmentation will no longer be a thing. And the way Eliza presented that final choice, no one will be left to decide humanity's future for them. Because in the end, that's what this option is being presented as. You are deciding that you are still lording over humanity and saying, I know what's best for humanity. I know the answers. I know the correct future that they should be taking here. And I say they should abandon augmentation research. Here's what I'll tell them in order to get them to be afraid. Because remember, this is just Hugh Darrow's message. And Hugh Darrow's message isn't necessarily 100% the truth. It isn't obscuring any of the facts like the other two, but it's framing that truth in a way to exploit people, in a way to manipulate them, to get them to become afraid. It's not just giving them the clinical facts. It's saying, be afraid of human augmentation research. It's still deciding that I know what's best for people and they do not have the right to decide the responsibility of the own course of human society for themselves. So that's why, to me, there is only one correct option. And even this is not the best option. Because I'm still saying, like, my options are lie to people, fearmonger people, exploit the people, decide humanity's future for them, or I decide to kill hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds. And drown the truth along with us. Is that still not deciding that the ends justify the means? Am I still not committing an atrocity by doing this? Am I still not weighing the value of the lives of everyone on this station against what I think is the correct course for humanity to take? There is no right answer here. There's just, philosophically, ideologically, what do you believe is the correct future to decide for mankind? And I don't believe anyone has the right to decide mankind's future but mankind.
If you do this, the world will be left with questions and may never reach a consensus. Are you sure this is your choice? We have little time left, Adam. And might I say, it has been a pleasure.
Everyone on this station who knows the truth is just going to try and use it to manipulate people, including myself. So I'm taking that choice out of their hands. Out of my hands.
Do I trust mankind to save itself? That's what Eliza was asking. The truth is, I don't know. After everything I've seen, all the fighting and the chaos around me, I only know what I want to believe. somehow, human decency will triumph. These past few months, I've faced many life-threatening situations. I could have given up many times, but my need to know the truth, to uncover the secrets that others were hiding, and to survive forced me to keep on going. Most of the time, I tried to keep my values in mind, knowing my actions did not have to harm others. I held on to my humanity, resisting the urge to abuse power or resources in order to meet my goals. And in the end, I got the job done. But does this mean I have the right to choose for everyone? No. Because it isn't up to me. It isn't up to Darrow, Sarif, or Taggart either. Ordinary men and women will have to decide together what course mankind should take. The kind of people who time and time again have picked and chosen the future in highly practical ways, slowing change when it's negative, speeding it up when it's good. Can they do it again? I don't know. But I do know I'm not about to let anyone in this station, myself included, stand in their way.
So that's why I go with that ending, because that final wrap-up monologue by Adam Jensen is the one that most closely, follows my own outlook, my own belief structure. That people do, whether or not, I want to believe that people have the ability and have the responsibility to decide the best possible future for themselves. But in the end of the day, even if they don't, even if they would make the wrong choice, that's their choice to make. Who are we, who is anyone to lord over all of society, all of people, and decide what's best for them? People have to make their own choices, for good or for bad. You can't take away people's rights to be assholes, and I aim to misbehave, Although, practically speaking, if you, that's just taking the ending on its own merits at its own face, but practically speaking, in terms of this being a Deus Ex game, it doesn't matter what you choose, because no matter what you choose, a Deus Ex 1 happens. Terrorist bomb, the Statue of Liberty, UNATCO gets formed, a resistance against UNATCO, physical augmentations become outdated and neurological augmentations become the new norm. The Majesco 13 breaks off from the Illuminati and starts creating the Grey Death virus. None of that gets halted. This is a prequel game. No matter what you choose, Deus Ex 1 happens, so it doesn't matter. Even if you choose Hugh Darrow's message to say, make humanity abandon human augmentation research, guess what? The first game still happens, so it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, none of your choices, it doesn't matter what you choose, none of them will change what's about to happen. None of them will change the future that awaits mankind, which is the original Deus Ex. So in that sense, I also believe that is the best ending to go with in terms of the canon. Although at the same time, the existence of Mankind Divided has kind of been nah, fuck it. None of those endings were canon. No matter what ending you chose, obviously Adam Jensen and even David Seraph and some other characters are still alive. So they're still running around. Obviously, you didn't choose to blow up the station. And none of the other like Mankind Divided has kind of been like, none of those choices. Like, it's kind of the opposite of what Deus Ex 2 Invisible War was, because Invisible War was like, all of the endings of Deus Ex 1 were canon. Every single one of those happened all in conjunction. Whereas Mankind Divided is going, none of those choices happened. A completely unrelated thing occurred instead, which is kind of funny. So that's Deus Ex Human Revolution. I'm glad I finally got to finish it. I went back and, man, this is going to be a weird one to watch from beginning to end. It's going to be weird watching those first, 25 parts and then getting to these. But I am proud of myself for finishing it. Oh. And we're watching the credits not only because I believe, that's the least you can do. These people went through all this trouble and made a game. The least you can do is appreciate their work. But also because there's a secret scene after the credits that we have to see also. Oh man, I haven't eaten anything yet today. So my apologies if my commentary wasn't the best it possibly could have been in these last couple parts. Because, kind of talking on an empty stomach here. But I feel like I communicated what I wanted to adequately enough. I'm really looking forward to Mankind Divided, and these videos aren't going to go up before Mankind Divided comes out, definitely. Mankind Divided will well have been released by the time this video, at the very least, comes out. So hopefully it'll, this was a great game. This was a fantastic video game. And, flawed. Incredibly flawed, had a lot of, they could have done that better. I would still give it a solid, 8.5 to a weak 9 out of 10. Because there are plenty of ways that they could have improved upon what they did here. And hopefully that's what they did with Mankind Divided. They took this strong foundation and they built on it and improved where they faltered and made what was good even better. And hopefully, Mankind Divided will be yes, this is what a sequel should be. It should be a better version. It should be more of what we want and less of what sucked about the original game. Unlike what Invisible War was, which was terrible and just god-awful all the way around. But who knows, maybe they'll carry on the tradition that Invisible War set and have the sequel to a Deus Ex game be total crap. We'll see, I guess. We'll see. But, Mankind Divided could just be just as good as Human Revolution was, and it would still be phenomenal. Games like this are really great to have come around that, analyze these social issues and philosophical issues and take inspiration from, Greek mythology and all cool stuff like that. I mean, it is kind of, it's not the most highbrow ever, but it's still high-concept stuff. There's layers to the narrative here that you can analyze and pick apart and agree with or disagree with and argue, and people can actually sit around and talk about the various different themes that this game raises and debate them. And have various different arguments that the game actually explains and puts forth to back up their point of view. They could go no, I agreed with this character, I thought what they said was correct, and you can argue with them and go no, but this other thing that happened disproves them, or how can you think that? They did this, doesn't that invalidate what they thought, blah blah blah. It's just how many games do that? It's really cool to have a game where that, really explores a social issue and really backs it up with solid arguments, but doesn't preach it doesn't come down on one side or the other and go like, this is what is right. This is what you should believe. This is the correct thing to believe. We are telling you what to believe. Like, no, it's saying, here's the issue. Here's all of the sides of the issue as we understand it. What do you agree with? And from what I've seen, I feel like Mankind Divided is going to do that even better. And it's going to be even more topical, considering the, social issues that we're kind of dealing with in modern times. I'm really looking forward to it, and, again, if it's even, even not better, even if it's just as good, there you go. Like, still a step ahead and above other game series. Like, Deus Ex, for all of its gameplay flaws and all of its kind of, not the most, intellectual of understandings of these social issues, even the original Deus Ex kind of just threw every conspiracy theory that exists against the wall, and when the Illuminati, it still raised a bunch of very relevant and prominent issues that a lot of games don't even bring up. A lot of people don't even think about. And, framing those issues in a kind of somewhat juvenile, science fiction, near future, the Illuminati's responsible for everything, kind of oversimplification. It's still bringing this up. It's still, admitting that these issues exist and still going, hey, what do you think? It's still, putting the responsibility in your hands to come to your own conclusions about whether or not you agree or, might dispute it and go like, no, I think you're full of shit. It's just really cool. It's, multifaceted, blah, 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 Not a lot of games even attempt to, dive into subjects like that. So even a surface level, shallow end of the pool wading in is better than nothing.
You worry too much, Morgan. There's nothing we can't manage given time. She's here. I have to cut this short. Keep going through the wreckage. Maybe we'll find something we can use for the Morpheus initiative. Come in. Dr. Reed. We're so pleased you decided to join us.
Where else could I go?
No regrets, my dear. As Ariadne told Theseus before he entered the Minotaur's labyrinth, always forward, never left or right. You'll be very interested in our current project. We're breaking new ground.
Yes, the nanite virus chimera is quite intriguing. I'm looking forward to seeing the hybrid project up close, Mr. Page.
And so you shall. But please, call me Bob.
So there you go. There's your secret. Yeah, and the music. So there's your secret ending. Megan Reed joined Majesco 13 and helped design the Grey Death virus. Fuck her. I really hope we get the chance to pop her in the fucking head come Mankind Divided. Because fuck that bitch. Again, it doesn't matter what ending you chose. No matter what, Deus Ex 1 still happens. Here we go. Man, what I wouldn't give to hear an orchestra perform that.